creativity and challenge in innovation and research important? Well, if we keep thinking of only what is currently being done, very little progression or rapid change will be made. In order for any progress to be made in the development of new technology or the introduction of new ideas, we need to think differently. So yes, in my opinion, it's very important. Let's take an example of this. In tackling the climate crisis, the UK government is very focused in developing and funding technology that is currently proven, such as nuclear fission plants and generating electricity through burning solid fuel. The government is set to approve 1 or 2 nuclear fission plants every 5 years from 2030 to 2044. One of the newest currently being built is Sizewell C in Suffolk. However, the use of biomass to produce green electricity, such as the Drax power station in North Yorkshire, is detrimental as it is not emission-free. To produce this so-called green electricity, Drax are burning wood pellets imported from Canada, so are still contributing to greenhouse gas emissions through both the release of CO2 from the pellets themselves and the shipping involved in transporting them to the UK. Because this technology has been used for tens of years, the government may see it as reliable and is therefore more unwilling to steer away from sources like this. But there are many other innovations in the early development stage, such as nuclear fusion and hydrogen fuel cells, that offer arguably cleaner solutions. A solution, such as carbon capture, may help with this. And earlier this year, I was awarded a British Science Association Goldcrest Award for my project designing and testing a pH-based carbon capture device. My work was an example of a DAC, or direct air capture system, which is a carbon capture technique where CO2 is absorbed straight from the air around us, rather than extracting it out of emissions from, say, a methane factory. In my work, I use pH buffers as the medium to capture the CO2. They are basically liquids that control the pH of a solution. The supervisor I had for my project from Cambridge University is currently working on a piece of carbon capture technology that doubles as a battery. As it captures CO2, it charges, and when it releases CO2, it discharges and can power a device such as a light bulb. These are just a couple of examples of innovations that are completely different to current technology, but which could be made available for domestic use. Without the creativity of solutions like these, we would never come up with the solutions to the problems we face worldwide and in our day-to-day lives. In short, if we do what we have always done, we'll get what we have always got. However, with creativity comes challenge. The solutions we can theoretically create may be more difficult than we might first think to physically produce. Take the innovation of the Post-it note in 1998, for example. Spencer Silver, a senior chemist in 3M's Central Research Labs, was trying to create a super strong glue for packing tape. Instead, he managed to develop one of the weakest glues ever. However, this tape glue was special. When it was stuck onto another item, it could easily be peeled away without any residue remaining on the surface of the material. And so, the well-known sticky note was born. It wasn't the result Spencer wanted, but we definitely wouldn't call it failure. In my project, things didn't quite go to plan either. Not only could I not use my originally planned absorption medium, the enzyme carbonic anhydrase, but when it came to using pH buffers, I collected very little change in overall gas volume. In fact, I seemed to have the mass of my buffers decrease throughout the experiment. I later concluded that this might be due to water evaporating out of the buffers. Nonetheless, this didn't mean my project failed, it just didn't quite turn out how I had originally hoped. In fact, it has encouraged me to continue with this research and look further at what didn't work. With the development of any great innovation, there come setbacks. The true skill in experimental research is not letting these hold you back, but instead propel you forward to work even harder. It's all well and good listing the key elements of a successful innovation, but what we need to understand is why successful innovation matters. In order to create the solutions to any problems we face worldwide and in our day-to-day lives, we need new and creative solutions. When choosing the project I wanted to complete for my Goldcrest Award, I didn't just think about what would interest me or what would be easy to achieve. I thought about what I could do to have an impact. If my DAC machine had been successful, I would have wanted to develop a safer version, much less fragile than a giant round glass beaker. I had already thought about its use in school, possibly being able to generate smoke for stage productions and then recapture the CO2 gas. I had also thought about the use of the products to manufacture our own chalk or even limestone and concrete for commercial use. Unique ideas like these are needed in order to tackle the problems we face today and the problems that we will face tomorrow. Not everything has a formulaic solution that can be generated with a couple of clicks from a computer mouse. In order to tackle the dilemmas that we as a species have created, we need to come up with the solutions ourselves. And so, we can see creativity is important here, as it allows us to come up with distinctive solutions to individual problems. Challenge is also important, as it forces us to work even harder at solving a problem in order to create the most effective solution. Although AI represents very powerful technology, it can only rehash ideas from existing work. It cannot generate or impart the joy of human creativity and the curiosity that exists in a what-if approach. That is to say, AI technologies are good at recognizing observations that come from patterns from past behaviors and successes. But that, surely, is the embodiment of if we do what we have always done, we'll get what we have always got. I believe that it is the responsibility of my generation to achieve more than this and to create truly new innovations that will feed both the future progress of the world and of the AI that will aid it. And who knows, along the way, Post-it notes might just come in handy. Thank you.